Hey guys, Paul here from Military History Gear Review. Today we are going to be checking out the People's Liberation Army's brand new Type-19 Parka. This isn't even fully fielded yet, and we're lucky we got to check it out, so be sure to stick around. Well, this is the Type-19 Parka. It is in desert camouflage. This is the newest style of camouflage coming out of the PLA. It's called Starry Sky style camo, and this is their desert variant. And Type-19 in PLA nomenclature refers to the year that it was introduced. So this was introduced in September of 2019. This is a cold weather and inclement weather parka done in the anorak style. In fact, you can see Chinese officers wearing this style of parka in a lot of the videos of Chinese soldiers confronting and getting into border skirmishes with Indian border forces in the Himalaya region. The predecessor to this was the Type 07. A very similar parka, but with the old style camouflage. Now, this parka features, of course, a faux fur collar, which is removable, a hood, which is also removable. It actually has Velcro enclosures, right, so that you can fully wrap yourself up in the hood, right, in really inclement conditions. It also is an anorak style jacket, so it has two high front pockets and two low front pockets. It has no internal pockets, but it has a removable liner that provides an extra layer of quilting and appears to be a little heat reflective. So this camel pattern, as I said earlier, is sometimes called Starry Sky, and this was a pretty unique development by the PLA. Now, its predecessor, the Type 07, was a digital style camouflage that, like the US military, had a different style of camouflage for each branch of their military, plus a whole bunch of these weird one-off designs. It was actually sort of logistically pretty chaotic. The channel Uniform History has an awesome video covering the messy and boondoggly development of the Type 07 camouflage. Now, the Starry Sky pattern fixes a lot of the problems with the Type 07. So, like, again, sort of almost like mimicking the US military, the Type 07 had all these different patterns, but each one was for a different operational branch, which of course doesn't make a lot of sense. There's nothing about the PLA Rocket Force, for example, that needed to be the only people who wore the woodland camouflage, right? And so with this new style, the People's Liberation Army said no more. Soldiers are going to be issued the appropriate camouflage for the region that they are operating in, regardless of branch. And there are 5 Starry Sky patterns, right? There's woodland, jungle, desert, urban, and wasteland. And what makes these really unique is that they reflect the Chinese military's operational priorities, right? So you know that they have desert counter-terror operations in Xinjiang, right? A desert environment that also has some urban centers. They have, of course, the Taiwan situation, which is jungle and urban. They have the conflict at the Indian border in the Himalayas, which is mountainous and wasteland-like. And of course, you have the standard woodland pattern for the PLA Rocket Force that operate domestically, but often in really, really, really remote forested areas of the country, right? So it's interesting to see that the PLA, right, looked at its operational missions and was able to downtrace that into the development of a camouflage, right? And again, this is a military that, for better or worse, 15 years ago was basically just copying what Western militaries were doing. But this is a unique style, right? The US military has started to go away from digital camo, whereas China has actually created a second generation camouflage. And you can see it's really unique. It blends the digital camo effect with sort of the splotches that you see in patterns like the OCP or the BDU Woodland. Now, I took this jacket out into the field on my most recent overnight, and I gotta say, I was really actually impressed. The only thing I had underneath this was a t-shirt, and it was well below freezing, probably in the mid-20s at night. So when I climbed into my sleeping bag, I only had this. I was also hiking in, again, freezing rain, very cold conditions, and this kept me warm. In fact, on my hike out at 4 in the morning, I was actually starting to perspire inside this jacket. I loved the pockets, right? These pockets are really big, really deep, and I was able to, as I was messing with stuff, able to just put it in the pockets, fish it back out when I needed it. My camera, my multi-tool, rolls of paracord, you name it, right? And again, there's a reason this anorak style jacket, has persisted for 100 years, right? It's just so effective to have just a big pocket, big vest, pockets in the front. It's a great style, right? And to the PLA's credit, they said we're not going to mess with it. And it's not a rain jacket, but it was able to bead and repel quite a bit of water, and I didn't do any additional treatment to this material. So again, something that really says that it was field tested. And I think for like mountain conditions where you get those light rains pretty frequently, this is held up really well. And after my experience with the WJQ308, the shovel, I was really prepared to have issues with the manufacturer. But the truth is, this is manufactured in a PLA factory. In fact, even the buttons say PLA on them in English characters. Weird. You can see that truly China didn't spare any expense in the manufacture of this jacket. The stitching is solid. Everything is high quality. The only component that I take some issue with is the front zipper. Sometimes sticks. It doesn't easily catch and zip up. Honestly, if you can find this thing for sale, and maybe they'll work their way to the commercial market as the fielding to Chinese troops is complete, probably in the next year or two. I would say it's worth trying to pick up. This is pretty bulky. I wouldn't take this if I was trying to do some lightweight backpacking. But again, a reflection of China's national priorities, where they just don't do these very long-range expeditionary operations. It's a lot closer to home, where the space saving isn't as big a priority. But if you wanted a really cool, effective style of, say, hunting jacket, man, this is a great option. Again, take a look at the different camo patterns. You should see them start to enter the market here. I got this off of eBay. Maybe it's out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do you guys use any Chinese military surplus gear? How does it stack up against the Chinese-made commercial gear that so often ends up for sale? Let me know in the comments below, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more military history, outdoor gear review, and I will see you guys on the trail.